Alrighty. Welcome in, guys, to another episode of the Playbook Podcast. This is episode number 11. We're really excited for today, as always. Looking forward to talking some sports with the boys. We do have a lighter slate today. Middle of the season things. Sometimes it gets a little slow, but we definitely got some good games to talk about. So I think we should just jump right in, guys. I think the biggest game from last week, obviously, it was the Thursday night game last week, and it was between two extremely good teams. Some people don't think the Bengals are that good, but I tend to believe they are pretty good. They played the Ravens in Baltimore. This was an absolute awesome game. Both games between these teams so far have been incredible. Ravens pulled it out 35-34 after a very controversial ending that saw the NFL referees missing three different face masks on the very final play, the 2-point conversion that would have put the Bengals up 36-35. So a very controversial ending, but it was still an awesome game. Joe Burrow just was electric, 428 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Jamar Chase had a all-time game. He is now, guys, I don't know if y'all know this. I saw this. He's the only player in NFL history with multiple games of 250 or more yards and 3 touchdowns in the same game. The only person.
Wow.
I mean, Jerry Rice hasn't done it. Tyreek Hill hasn't done it. Randy Moss hasn't done it. Unbelievable game from a guy who wants everyone to think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, and he's doing a really good job of putting a case up for that. Swapping over to the other side, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson stays hot, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns. He added another 33 yards on the ground. It's just an awesome game. It's kind of going to be a repeat of what we talked about last time they played, but I feel like both teams' defenses are still extremely weak. But I guess I want to ask this question first. Trey, does this game, given the way it ended, give you more hope for the Bengals or less hope for the Bengals?
Oh man, it's tough to say because they're 4-6, and even though Joe Burrow is playing really good this year, I think it's a little bit of loss of hope for me because no matter what happened in that last call, I know it was a face mask, and for those that say they face mask, then they're blind. But you know what? It was a face mask.
Mm-hmm.
But we still got recap, and then here's the job done. And Jamar Chase, though, I mean, I don't know Jamar Chase, man. I mean,
Dude, he's unbelievable.
he really is. And so, I mean, Joe Burrow's been playing good,
Yeah,
though.
Joe Burrow has as well.
But I don't know why he can't get it done late in those game moments.
Yeah, it's interesting. Joe Burrow on the season, most yards in the NFL now. He's to 2,672 passing yards, 24 touchdowns. That's tied for first, and only 4 interceptions. QBR of 74 on a scale of 0 to 100. That's third in the league. He is playing out of his mind, and he was clutch in that final drive. He hit his guys. He hit Jamar Chase in the back of the end zone for another touchdown and gave them a chance. They decided to go for 2, and the refs missed a call. I really don't think we can put this game on Joe Burrow. I've been critical of the way the media handles Joe Burrow as of late, as you guys know in some recent episodes. But this one, it's just one of those things, guys. You look at his stats, you look at the way the game ended. Just can't really blame him. You can't really blame him. So, Jaden, do you still have hope for the Bengals this season? So, for reference, real quickly, if the season ended today, they would be the 9th seed. They're tied with the Colts at 4-6. The Broncos are that 7th spot wild card at 5-5. So they're definitely still in play for the wild card.
Yeah, I think, if you'd asked me this question at the beginning of the season, I definitely, they weren't looking too hot at the beginning of this season. But, Joe Burrow's starting to step up his game a little bit. And, I mean, if Jamar Chase keeps playing like this, and I don't know, maybe if they can get their defense a little more work, I think, they can at least secure a spot in the playoffs. I don't know how far they'll go in the playoffs, but I think they have a good chance of making the playoffs if they play a little more consistent like this.
Yeah. So their upcoming schedule. So they're a game behind the Broncos for that 7th slot. They have the Chargers next, then the Steelers, then the Cowboys. That's an easy win. Then the Titans. Then they play the Broncos, and then a very, very actually important game. They play the Broncos in December 29th. That's going to be a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess tell me what you guys think of this. If the Bengals can make it to the playoffs, anything could happen, because we all know team gets hot. Aaron Rodgers' only Super Bowl ring was from his wild card when he was a wild card. I'm not picking the Bengals to win, but who's the team to beat? It's the Chiefs. We're going to talk about them later. Who gives the Chiefs the most trouble? It's the Bengals. They always, even though the Chiefs have beaten them the last couple of times, it's nail biters. It's close. And when you get Joe Burrow playing like this and Jamar Chase playing like this, they're going to get T. Higgins back. I think it's possible for them to wreak some havoc in the playoffs if they make it. But, they have to make it first, right? So that's the key.
Not only that, their defense for real worries me a lot. Because you're right. I'm not going to put on Joe Burrow, but I'm going to put on their defense. I don't know what the coach is doing in the offseason, but it needs to be investigated. I felt bad that they are, because their defense is really 65 right now. If season ended today, their coach is fired, because there needs to be investigated. There needs to be an investigation on this coach, what he does in the offseason with his team and training and mini camps, because their defense is really terrible. They have a 60 defensive rating according to PFF.
That's not very good. Not very good at all. It's rough, because we've seen this defense be good before with, Lou Anarumo's defense specifically. It seems to be the toughest defense for Patrick Mahomes to deal with. But they can't stop the pass. They can't stop the run. They actually did pretty well versus Derrick Henry. I didn't think that was an issue, but Lamar Jackson just had his way again. And I think it's also an issue for the Ravens. We'll talk about them here in a bit, but I think if they can make it to the playoffs, they can do anything. I could see them, like, if I went to sleep for 4 months and woke up and checked my phone and it said the Bengals won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be like, no way, I can't believe it, because you have that quarterback, you have that wide receiver. I mean, is there a better quarterback wide receiver duo in the league right now than Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I mean, Siri doesn't even understand. She just turned on. She doesn't even get what's going on here. She doesn't understand the question, because the answer is Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, right? Yeah, I'm gonna pull up Jamar Chase's stats real quickly here. He's been awesome. So just so you guys know, I am a Jamar Chase fantasy. I have him on my fantasy team. He scored 55 points, guys. 55 fantasy points. It's just insane. So on the season, 66 catches, that's first. 981 yards, that's first. 10 touchdowns, that's first. And he's just dominant. He's so good. You can bracket him. You can put a safety over the top of him. He's going to get open. This is exactly why. And now I'm not saying he's better than Justin Jefferson. I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. But when they were both on the same team, the number one receiver was Jamar Chase. I'm just going to say that. I'm not saying that, who's better or who's not, because I've said Jett is the best wide receiver in the league for a while. But Jamar Chase is trying to make his name known. So it's very, very impressive. But
he has an 88 overall rating.
That's crazy. I could see them making the playoffs, because they're right there. They just have to string some wins together here. It's possible. It's definitely possible. But jumping over to the other side of the game real quickly here. We're going to talk about the Ravens. The Ravens have been extremely good the last couple of weeks, but I am worried about them. So if we look at their schedule, their last couple games, so the last time they held somebody to, and so they give up starting from the last bank. So they held the Bills to 10 points. That's been their best showing, the defense of the Ravens. Since then, Bengals scored 38 on them. They did hold Jaden Daniels to 23, which is good. Then Baker scores 31 on him. Then they give up 29 to Jameis Winston and the Browns. They just decimated the Broncos. And then they give up 34 to the Bengals. I'm worried about their defense.
Yeah. I agree.
Kyle Hamilton had sprained his ankle in this game. He's their best defensive player. And Lamar Jackson has been unbelievable. He's the MVP right now. It's just sure. He's the MVP. He would win his third MVP, but I'm concerned about this defense in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because right now, because last year they had a 90 defensive rating. This year it's a 75.
Yeah, their defense was awesome last year.
That's a big drop.
It's a huge drop. Their defense was unbelievable last year. They were incredibly impressive. They takeaways, sacks, good coverage, tackling. They could do it all last year. This year, I'm worried. I'm worried they get to the playoffs. And my biggest fear for them, they get to the playoffs and have to play the Bengals. Is Jamar Chase going to go for 300 yards that game? Like it's possible. And I know they beat the Bengals twice. Both of the games were literally a one play decided the game. And we all know football, anything can change, anything can happen. I'm worried for them. I think it's fine in the regular season, but when it comes to playoff time, that defense has to tighten up, and Lamar has to keep playing like this because he's going to win his third MVP. He's going to be one of like a couple guys to have. I don't even know if Tom Brady has 3 MVPs. The only guys I can think of off the top. Does he have 3 exactly? Okay. Yeah, 3 exactly, including if you include Tom Brady, the guys I can think of off the top of my head that have 3 MVPs or more: Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. No, Mahomes only has 2.
I'll try it.
See, you Lamar getting that third, he goes to like a different dimension.
Yeah.
Of when it comes to like accolades, he's got to show up in the playoffs. What do you guys think?
I agree. It's kind of like LeBron and early in his career, winning all these MVPs, but he had to win that chip that he would consider being up there with Jordan at the time and being at top 5 of all time in basketball. But I do think he needs to get it done in playoffs. If not, he can be great as he wants as a regular season quarterback, but people won't remember him. They'll remember the guy who choked in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And by the way, Brady should have 4. He should have won that 2021 season. Brady, in my opinion, but subject for another day.
Another topic for another day. Jaden, what do you think about this whole thing here with Lamar?
Yeah, like Trey said, he's in the regular season he's really good. He's really good all around, but it's whether he can keep this up or not during the playoffs. They have the potential to, but it can't just be Lamar Jackson in the playoffs as well. I mean, like with the Bengals, if they want to make it far in the playoffs, they're gonna have to do something with their defense. But
yeah, we've seen defenses tighten up in the postseason. But real quickly, you did mention the LeBron thing. The only difference there is even before LeBron broke through in 2012, he had a couple really good playoff runs where he was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and when he made it to the finals in 2007. They were asking Tim Duncan, how are they stopping him? He said, we're guarding him with 5 guys. Like they was sent everyone to guard him. Lamar Jackson, each one of his worst games of his career has been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't even seen him. He won a game last year. He beat the Texans, which was great. And he finally was able to do that. But then he played awful versus the Chiefs. We haven't seen him put on just a stretch like great game, plays great in the Super Bowl. We haven't seen that. And I believe in the guy. He's unbelievably gifted and talented. He might be the most talented runner of the football at the position ever. And he's a good thrower of the football too. He's got some touch on the ball. He can throw it deep. He threw an awesome pass. It was like a jump shot. It looked like, I forgot who it was to. It was either Bateman or Wallace. I don't remember who it was, but he just floated it up there. It was a beautiful pass. He's a great player. I think he can overcome it, but he's got to. If he gets a third, guys, if he wins wins Super Bowl this year, while in the same season as his third MVP and he wins Super Bowl MVP, we're gonna have to have some tough conversations about some guys in the top 10 that might be getting knocked out by Lamar Jackson. So,
Yeah.
I believe in the guy. It's just I'm worried that defense. So I'm worried about that defense. So
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have anything else to add about this? It's really interesting because both teams are really interesting to talk about.
Yeah. I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
The defense needs to step up, though.
Big time. They were so good last year, so they definitely have to. So while we're on the topic, we'll talk about the Chiefs now. The Chiefs taking on the Broncos in Arrowhead. This was the worst game I've ever seen with my own two eyes. I mean, it was literally atrocious. So we live in an era where I can say Bo Nix outplayed Patrick Mahomes, but he lost still. So I've been flirting with the idea that the Chiefs employ witchcraft to win games. I'm done flirting with that idea. I just truly believe it now. There is so much evidence, supporting evidence, to prove that they employ some kind of magic to win these games. I'm gonna have to go undercover, go into the locker room, and figure out what's happening. They pull out the win, 16-14 on a blocked field goal. I mean, guys, Bo Nix was Cortland Sutton made Trent McDuffie look bad, and I think Trent McDuffie's one of, if not the best corner in the NFL. And Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix were cooking him, and I didn't know what I was seeing. And Bo Nix drives him down the field, gets him in field goal range. Will Lutz sets up to kick, and the offensive line blocking, or the field goal blocking unit, the entire left side, they all fell over. And there's like 5 Chiefs in there in a moment. Karl Loftus was in there. Leo Chenal was in there. It was just like if you watch it closely in slow speed, you can see one of them chanting an incantation or spell, and they popped it, and that made the entire field goal unit fall backwards on their butt, and then they blocked it, and it was just like, no way. There's no way. So we'll hop into the box score here. Bo Nix, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 115 rating. He played awesome versus a very tough defense. Mahomes 266, 1 touchdown. Guys, I don't know what to make of this. The Broncos stopped the Chiefs passing game. They stopped the Chiefs running game. They sacked Mahomes more. They got more. They had more touchdowns, and they lost. I really don't know what this means. Someone tell me what it means other than the Chiefs use magic, because that I already know.
I mean, number one, their O-line, I will admit this. The Chiefs O-line sucks.
It's not very good, is it?
I mean, I don't know what the heck.
It's the tackles. The tackles are just not very good.
And they absolutely, I can go out there and block better than that. I think the 3 of us can, because that's how bad the O-line is. But I'm gonna keep saying it. I think this keeps building them out, and I don't know it's because of all those years of Patrick Mahomes building out the defense and finally paying him back.
Yeah,
because his first couple of years in the NFL, their defense was horrid.
It's very bad. Yeah,
it was
really
so bad.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna keep saying it. It's like the Patriots with Tom Brady. When Brady was playing bad, the defense bailed out Tom Brady. And that team's just complete. That team is good. It's complete. Just that online is just terrible. I don't know, man. That 74 guy. What's his name? Juan Taylor.
Juwan Taylor.
Yeah, whatever his name is. I'm calling him Juan. I mean, I'm gonna be real. Please, you watch this, cut the guy and get a new offensive line, because that guy drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Many times Mahomes got a first down. Call back because of that bozo doesn't know what he's doing. So Chiefs, watch this and
man.
Thank you, bro.
It's so real quickly. So the interior Chiefs offensive line is very good. They're center and their guards. So Creed Humphrey, he's the ranked first out of 38 on PFF for centers. Joe Thuney is rated 4 out of 77 for guards, and Trey Smith is ranked 8th out of 77 for guards. Fantastic interior. Then you get to the tackles. Wanya Morris, the left tackle, 62 out of 76. Juwan Taylor, 46 out of 76. They have no protection on the edge. It's like bad. It's weird because you got an elite core offensive line, then a horrible tackling. I don't get it. I don't get it. Jaden, do you feel any magic radiating off your hat? Can you explain that to me? Like, I need an explanation for this game. I don't want to hear 3 phases, everything matters, everything. I don't care. I do not care, because the entire blocking unit for the Broncos, they just fell down. Like, it didn't even look like they got hit. They just fell down. I don't get it. What's happening here? Are the Chiefs just inevitable? We just have to watch this every week, or what?
I don't know. I feel like this hat gives me some superpowers. So
You're probably going to start floating. Watch your head. You can hit your head on the ceiling.
No.
Sheesh.
You know, if you've ever watched a Chiefs game, which we all have, it's always close in the fourth quarter.
It's always close.
It's always close in the fourth quarter. In some way, somehow, the Chiefs come and pull out with the win almost all the time. And, like Trey said, the biggest thing is their defense bails them out every time. They could play, like Patrick Mahomes plays probably the worst game of the season, but their defense goes and bails them out, which I'm not going to even call that punt return, their defense playing good, because I don't even know what that was. But I mean, in my honest opinion, it should not have been this close with the Broncos.
It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be.
But no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they're 9-0 right now. There's been many games that they definitely should have lost, but they come back and win. But
yeah, I really don't get it. They lose by a literal toe to they beat the Ravens by a literal toe. Isaiah Likely's toe was out magic. They beat the Bengals, and the refs just magically miss a couple pretty bad calls. Magic. They win by field goal. Magic. They beat the Falcons on a game-winning drive. They tussled out with the Chargers, beat them by a touchdown. The Saints are horrible, so they actually beat the Saints by a decent margin. Then they handled business against the Niners. That's like off a bye. Then they barely beat the Raiders. They barely beat the Buccaneers, and they beat the Broncos by the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I think we just have to acknowledge the fact that these guys just employ some kind of magic, and we just got to deal with it. I really do think we just got to deal with it. So I don't know.
I did see. Did y'all see the clip of Mahomes asking the refs to tell him when there's a guy behind him?
Yeah. Bro, are the Chiefs? Did the Chiefs got all the refs on payroll? I don't get it. I don't understand. And I'm not even a Chiefs hater. Mahomes went to my college, my alma mater. I'm just genuinely concerned and curious how this keeps happening. Because even we've seen Tom, Trey keeps mentioning, saying it's a lot like the Patriots dynasty. The Patriots won a lot of close games, but they were also blowing people out in their prime. The 2007 Patriots, they were blowing guys out the water. The close games we saw were mainly in the playoffs. in the regular season, just dominance, right? It's weird seeing it constantly every single week. It's just wild. But they have Mahomes, they have Andy Reid, and they just keep winning. So until proven otherwise, they are the best team in the league, regardless of how ugly the games may look, because 9-0 does not lie. So,
and they're going to get Pacheco back too.
What was that?
They're going to get Pacheco back.
Yeah, they're going to have Pacheco and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Man, oh my God.
It's just good, that's just gross. And the next year, they're probably going to have Rashee Rice and DeAndre Hopkins. So it's stupid. Whatever. It's okay. In 2 weeks, guys, Bryce Young is going to beat him. Watch. That'll be the game they lose. They'll lose to Bryce Young. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That's going to be a close game. And
I'm bigger than Bryce Young. I can. We're all bigger than Bryce Young, bro.
We are all bigger than Bryce Young, but the Chiefs could play Amarillo High and it'd be a close game. It'd be down to the wire, and Mahomes would have to make something happen, or the defense would do something. That's just how the Chiefs are. They don't win big. We haven't seen a 30-10 win by the Chiefs, and I don't even remember the last time I saw it. I really don't. But they win. They're 9-0. They're gonna have the first seed, so the AFC goes through Arrowhead once again. It's going to be 20 degrees in January. Whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but
next week they play the Bills, so
that'll be a good game, I hope. I hope
so too.
My guess, so how I think that game's going to end. So I think the Bills are going to be up, right? They're going to be up. Let's say these Chiefs games are never very high scoring. So let's say the Bills are going to be up 20 and the Chiefs have set 13, okay? Josh Allen's going to throw a ball, and it's going to be perfect on the money, and Keon Coleman's going to catch it. He's running towards the end zone, and then a squirrel comes out of nowhere and punches the ball out. The ball goes flying in the air. Trent McDuffie does 17 backflips, catches it, and lands in the end zone for the pick six to tie the game. They go for two, and Patrick Mahomes slips, falls backwards, but he does a backflip, lands on his feet, okay? And then he throws the ball to Travis Kelce, but actually it's Taylor Swift. He takes the mask off. It's Taylor Swift. She catches the 2-point conversion, and the game's over. I think that's how it's going to end.
What's she going to sing in the end zone?
She's going to sing, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. I don't
22,
know.
Man. Oh.
Because they're going to score 22. There you go.
Oh, man.
Crazy. But we're going to move on. Chiefs are good. I think they're good. They just they beat everyone by 2 points. It's just crazy. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about the Steelers Commanders. This was a good game. This was a really good game. This was Sunday Night Football. This was Steelers at Commanders. Commanders games are actually fun to watch now. Watching the Cowboys for a long time, the Commanders typically haven't really been that exciting since Robert Griffin III. But now they got a squad. They got a real squad. Steelers win 28-27. It was close. Jaden Daniels was driving down the field. He threw the ball on 4th and 10. It looked like he got it to me. The wide receiver looked like he got it to me. They rolled it short, and the game was over. So is this more of a, wow, the Steelers are actually pretty good, or was this more of a just got extremely lucky that it was half an inch short? What do y'all think?
The Steelers are really good. They are really good. Their defense is really good. PFF has them as a 90 defensive rating. And TJ Watt might be defensive player of the year. And then on top of that, I'm going to say it, they can beat the Ravens in the playoffs.
Whoa.
They can beat the Ravens in the playoffs. They can beat the Ravens. Because TJ Watt is a monster inside, and Derrick Henry is great, but he ain't gonna go past TJ Watt. So now they're a dark horse in the AFC, and slept on. Russell Wilson. I'm sorry, bro, for
he looks good.
He looks really.
Yeah.
You look good.
He looks good.
I mean, I'm sorry, Russell Wilson. I'm really sorry because the whole let's ride Bronco Nation. That was I'm sorry, man. He made up for that for this year. So, but right now, I think they can beat the Ravens in playoffs. I really do believe it.
Wow. Okay. Jaden, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. That's a bold take.
That is.
Not to say that it's a bad take, but it definitely is a bold take. I don't know. I definitely, especially beginning of this season, I slept on the Steelers a little bit, personally.
We
But
all did.
I mean, they're 7-3, 7-2.
7-2, yeah.
I mean,
7-2.
I guess I just gotta start watching the Steelers games now.
Yeah, they actually have an offense. So I think there's a biggest winner and the biggest loser for this game. Or I'm sorry, not this game in particular, but just kind of the Steelers as a whole now. The biggest winner is George Pickens.
Yeah.
He has a quarterback who will throw him the ball, and he has the sticky hands. I've talked about it with DeAndre Hopkins. I think there's a couple other guys that have that. He seems to catch the ball no matter what. And he's been awesome since Russell Wilson has been the starting quarterback. And we can all agree Russell Wilson still has a fantastic deep ball. Mm-hmm. He might not be able to run the way he used to in Seattle. He can still throw the ball deep, and it's beautiful. And the biggest loser? Y'all are not even going to guess this at all. You ready? The biggest loser for this situation is Aaron Rodgers. Do you want to know why it's Aaron Rodgers? Because the game-winning touchdown from the Steelers was thrown to none other than Mike Williams, who Aaron Rodgers threw under the bus a couple weeks ago and got him traded. Turns out you just suck at throwing the ball, Aaron Rodgers, and you just can't complete a deep pass unless it's to Garrett Wilson, who makes the greatest catch of all time. We want to talk about that later. Well, we already talked about that. Go see it a couple episodes ago. But that's the only person you can throw deep to. Mike Williams catches a beautiful ball from Russell Wilson, wins the game. I mean, this offense is good. George Pickens is unbelievable. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren's a solid two-man punch in the backfield. They have an unbelievable defense, and I think what Trey said is probably accurate. TJ Watt's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year again.
Yeah.
The Steelers are good. It's weird, but they're good, and they're a fun team to watch. And it's just strange to say that. This team just looks night and day between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I mean, it's just night and day. It's literally unbelievable. Russell Wilson throws for 3 touchdowns. He only has 14 completions, but he has 195 yards, 7 yards per attempt. He's good. The Steelers are good. I don't think it's a bad take that they could beat the Ravens. I don't. Yeah. I think they could. I think George Pickens could have a day against that Ravens defense. So, yeah.
The way they're playing too.
Yeah. I mean, they play next week. We'll get a preview. They play in 5 days. We get a preview. Yeah. We get a preview of that game. I'm pretty excited for that. That'll be fun to watch. On the Commanders side, they dropped to 7-3. I don't really think there's much to say about the Commanders. You know, they still have a rookie quarterback. He cooled off in this game. That Pittsburgh defense held him to 202 yards, only 5 yards rushing, no touchdowns. He just held him. Yeah, I think this team goes as the quarterback goes, you know? So
yeah,
if the quarterback can't go crazy, they only lost by 1. And I thought it was a first down. The refs didn't think so. They're there, so they probably know better than me, but, you know, I don't know. But really good game, good teams, fun teams. So, yeah. Yeah, y'all got anything else to add on that?
No, I can't. I'm still learning.
He is. He showed his, you know, his rookiness, you know, his rookie. He finally had like a rookie game, I guess is a good way to say it. He just didn't look comfortable out there. And that's, you know, Mike Tomlin and that defense, man. That defense is unbelievably good. So I'm excited to watch that Ravens-Steelers game next week. That'll be fun. So we're going to move on. We're going to move to the Lions-Texans game. This actually might have been the worst game I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if you guys watched this, but the quarterbacks combined for 7 interceptions. Jared Goff had 5 of them. I mean, one of them was at the very end of the second quarter. It was a Hail Mary, so it was more like 4. But, like, still, it was rough, right? And I thought the whole way the Texans were holding it, where they had it. Then it slipped away, and then the Lions did the thing that the Chiefs do. That was a Chiefs game from the Lions.
Yeah.
You look like you're losing the whole time, but you won. Your quarterback did not play good, but you won. He played horrible, actually, at a 59.7 passer rating. 50% completion. I mean, I don't know. I think this solidifies my Lions take even more. They improved to 8-1. They look like the second best team in the NFL. I think they look better than the Chiefs. I'm not saying they are better than the Chiefs, but they win in more impressive fashion typically. Yeah. This game was just one of those Chiefs games. What do you guys think about this game? What's the takeaway here?
I think Jared Goff hurt his MVP case.
Oh yeah, that's over. That's over. Yeah,
because he was up there with Lamar Jackson for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I had him above Lamar before this game because of the way his QBR is. Because right now, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
5 of them came in this game.
I know. On top of that, it might be his first game since week 1. When we played against the Rams, but you know what? This solidified my MVP case is right now Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff might hurt his case, and Jahmyr Gibson doesn't look good either. He did not look good at all.
I mean, that Texans defense showed up. They showed up.
He did. And put on top of that, their jerseys were ugly too. So the Texans were. So I
like the helmet. But there's too much red. It's too much red.
They're like, bro, we might as well wear blood and Crip. But that's
bro.
This is how I see it. But Jahmyr Gibbs didn't look good at all. He's a little bit on and off too this season too. I'm not gonna notice that.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, the MVP case for Jared Goff's probably over unless Lamar has a couple stinkers.
It's over, period, bro.
I don't see Lamar throwing 5 interceptions in a game. I really don't. Jared Goff threw more than double of his season interceptions in that game. Jaden, for you, is this just, confirming that we're really good at picking teams at the beginning of the year or what?
I think so. I mean, the Lions, I don't know what to say. I don't know what other to say than they're good. I mean, they have just been playing very consistent throughout the entire season. Like y'all have said, Jared Goff lost his chance of getting MVP, but they have a their defense is good. They got a strong offense. There's not a whole lot you can pick at on them.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully Jared Goff doesn't average 5 interceptions per game from now on.
I doubt it. I think that probably won't happen, but
yeah. Hope not, because that was
weird. That was very weird. One thing on the Lions real quick before we move on. The defense is still good without Aiden Hutchinson. They don't rush, they don't get to the quarterback as much. They still had 4 sacks on CJ Stroud. But the main thing for me is they still are so dominant in the run game when it comes to stopping the run. Joe Mixon, 25 carries, 46 yards. That is 1.8 yards per carry.
Wow.
And Joe Mixon's had been very, very good this year. So they can still stop the run. And that makes me think that not very many teams in the NFC have a chance to beat them. I
think no one's beating them in the NFC.
I just don't see who in the NFC could unless I think honestly the best chance for a team, funnily enough, would be the Packers. Just if it's a Jordan Love is Brett Favre game where he throws just all over the lot. Like, that's possible, but that's what you would need. No team can go, like the kids say, band for band with this team right now. The Niners can't. No one in the Vikings can't. The Bears can't. I don't think the Rams can. I don't think the Packers can. I think they could have one of those Jordan Love goes crazy games, but that's your only hope, unless the Lions have a complete meltdown. But this team's really, really good. So, yeah, we're going to move on here. We're going to move to last night's game, Monday Night Football. Saw the Dolphins taking on the Rams in LA. The Dolphins win a game the first time since October 6th versus the Patriots. This one was a very gross game. Neither team could really move the ball at the beginning. Matthew Stafford was held touchdownless for the first time in a long time. The Rams couldn't get their run game going really very well. The Dolphins couldn't get their run game going very well. Tua didn't play well. It was ugly. It was gross, but they won. They won the game, and that's really all that they were looking for. So, I mean, I feel like this is a way bigger deal for the Rams because they were trying to make the playoffs, right? Yeah. And this hurts their chance. But, they're still in it. But, I mean, what do you guys think? I feel like this is mainly a Rams thing.
Yeah. I'm going to say something on Dolphins side. Tyreek Hill, this might be his worst season ever in his career. Totally has 2 touchdowns right now in this season. 2.
Yeah.
If I'm Tyreek Hill, I'm finding a way to go back with Patrick Mahomes because Tua Tagovailoa. Tua's a great guy, but I don't know. I think Tyreek's gonna leave after this season because this team is in shambles, man. This is his worst year in his NFL career start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think Tua is just looking for ways to get a CTE at this point.
He threw a pick and then tried to tackle the guy
his head.
And with his head.
Dude, Tua, hang it up, bro. If you get another concussion, you might as well just hang it up. Because, man, I'm kind of worried about the guy, man. I really am worried. I know I played football before. I've seen people. I know friends that play football. I mean, recently I saw a kid, literally from PD, a couple weeks ago in the hospital right now to this day. Because of putting his head down, but I'm worried about. I'm praying for the guy too, Darian. I'm from PD and guy from Tuscaloosa. I heard about it. Praying for y'all, but football's a dangerous game, and Tua needs to realize that because one more concussion can just be it.
Yeah, I was really concerned with that. But on your Tyreek Hill thing this season, 37 catches, that's tied for 35th, 462 yards, that's 37th, and 2 touchdowns, tied for 64th, and average yards per catch, 12.5, that's 94th. This is the worst Tyreek Hill. I mean, we are used to this guy going insane. His last 5 years, starting in 2020 when he was in Kansas City, 1,276 yards, 15 touchdowns. 2021, 1,239 yards, 9 touchdowns. Then he goes to Miami in 2020, 1,710 yards and 7 touchdowns. Then last year, 1,799 yards and 13 touchdowns. This guy, we expect this from this guy. We expect Tyreek Hill to be this guy, and he hasn't been. He hasn't been that guy this year. I don't know if it's a Dolphins issue.
It has to be.
It's just,
I'm Tyreek. I'm Tyreek. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, he was targeted 4 times on the receiving end, and he carried the ball twice. So it's not even like they're just not giving him the ball.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
And he's the best player on the team.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's strange. I feel bad for. I mean, he got his money, so I don't really feel bad for him. But he's just not. He's not playing well. I don't know if it's a scheme thing. I don't know if they're using him as a decoy too much. I really don't know, but I do know that this is bad, and the team isn't very good. They got a win yesterday. They're still 3-6. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's rough. It is definitely rough, but
Yeah, I saw this meme, and it was like the only time Tyreek Hill broke 100 yards when he was arrested before the game.
yeah, I mean,
That's true.
maybe he should just drive fast to every single game. I don't know.
Yeah, because look at this, bro.
I don't know.
His first game, 130 yards. Second game, 24 yards. Third game, 40 yards. Fourth week, 23. 69. 8. 72. 80 and 16. My word, man.
I mean, I feel bad for his fantasy owners. This guy, Jaden. I mean, this guy used to be. I mean, he's like last year. His fantasy numbers were ridiculous. I mean,
He's averaging like 30 points.
yeah, he was averaging like 30 last year. It's ridiculous. And then this year he's probably averaging 5. It's bad. The team, it looks gross. It's like, I don't know what it is. This team just doesn't look good. I don't know if it's, coaching thing. I really don't know, but yeah.
Well, probably might make Mike McDaniels too.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good win for him, but it's not going to mean much in the end. So,
No.
Yeah, we're gonna move on here. We're gonna move on to college football. We have one game to talk about. I didn't watch any other game but this one, because we're kind of in that that season of college football where a lot of these teams are just not playing very good teams. But this one I thought was going to be a good game, and it was for about 2 quarters. The Colorado Buffs taking on Texas Tech, my alma mater, unfortunately, in this scenario. They took them on here in Lubbock, and it was a good game for 2 quarters. I think at halftime, Tech was up 13-10, and then the Buffs scored 21 points in the third quarter, and it was over. I want to speak quickly on this. I am very disappointed in the head coach, the defensive coordinator, and the offensive coordinator of Texas Tech. The head coach, I don't really know what he does. Joey McGuire, I really don't know what he does. He kind of just stands there. I don't know if he calls defense. He doesn't call offense. That's Zach Kitley. I really don't know what he does, but it's very apparent whose team was more prepared for that game, and it was Deion's Buffs. They were much more prepared for that game. They started off pretty slow, but they gave Tech multiple opportunity to score in the first quarter. It could have been over in the first quarter. It could have been 27-0. Legitimately, that's how many chances Tech got, and they couldn't move the ball. And for some reason, their offensive coordinator just loves to call bubble screens over and over and over and over. I don't understand. It's a very, very high school-ish playbook. A lot of easy. If you look at the way he calls plays, you'd think he's got like a 10-year-old at quarterback. And I don't think Baron Morton is the best of the best, but I've seen the guy make some pretty impressive throws. And he gets treated like he can't do that. I don't know what's going on. There's nothing deep. There's nothing over the middle. It's all these short little out routes that mainly for yak for yards after the catch. It's gross. And then the defensive coordinator, he calls man in the worst situations, 3rd and long man. And of course, Travis Hunter is going to beat whoever's guarding him. And he does, and he gets open. He gets 16 yards on a 3rd and 16. It's just ew. It's just ew. The Buffs were better. They played better. They are better. And I think a lot of that is the coaching.
Yeah.
You can tell. I don't know who Colorado's offensive coordinator is. I'm going to look that up really quickly. I know Deion doesn't call the offense. Their offensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur, you can tell he thinks Shedeur Sanders is good. The way that he plays, he calls the plays. He gives him tough throws that he has to make, and he makes them. I don't know. It's just not very good. It's just not very good. What do you guys think, Trey? What do you think?
Well, number one, I think Colorado might is win the Big 12 now. I think
They still have to beat BYU. That's going to be tough.
I know, but I think they're gonna win. Top of that, Travis Hunter, second in Heisman, in my opinion, behind Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I watched this game, and tell you what, man, that environment was crazy too.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, you know what? The tortilla stuff was out of control a little bit, but you're not gonna get to that yet. Not maybe not for today. But if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, get Prime, get Shedeur, and do something because they can save your franchise, bro. Prime can save your franchise, so can Shedeur. Because right now, I know Shedeur. I don't know where you will rank in the draft. Maybe like the top 5 pick, maybe. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm taking the season. You already tanked it already, so and get Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders. If you really want to care about winning, Jerry Jones.
So yeah, that's not going to happen. But I mean, it would be cool.
You never freaking know.
I mean, if you genuinely think Jerry Jones would give Deion Sanders the head coaching job, you are drunk. Like you're just not. Like
Dude, I saw everybody say it today.
He fired Jimmy Johnson because he wanted too much control. Deion is a lot like Jimmy Johnson in the way that he wants to pick his guys. He wants to have the control. He wants to be the head coach. And Jerry Jones would not allow that.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't. He would want to draft the guy. You think Jerry's going to let someone else draft for him? No way. No way. Knowing Jerry, that he'd get Deion and then he'd draft Cam Ward or something instead of Shedeur, which, I mean, I do think Cam Ward's better, but still, like, that's something that Jerry would do, right? So it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Jaden, what do you think, buddy?
I don't know. Colorado's playing good this season. Tech, I mean, they were doing good and they were on a 4-game win streak just not that long ago. So I don't know. Whatever they were doing there, they need to go back to doing that and not.
It was actual offense, not high school offense.
Yeah, I don't know why they,
They keep running the same play over and over.
I don't know why they think they need to, let up, this getting later in the season, but I don't know. They definitely need to turn it around, or else they're not gonna have a great end to their season.
I mean, they have a bowl game guaranteed, but that's kind of all Joey McGuire cares about is bowl games, not really anything else. The top of the Big 12 is extremely crowded, though. So BYU is 9-0. They are 6-0 in conference play. Colorado is 7-2, 5-1 in conference play. Iowa State is 7-2, 4-2 in conference play. Kansas State and Arizona State are also 7-2, 4-2 in conference play. So the top of this Big 12 is extremely, extremely crowded. BYU is ranked number 6. I think they've had the best season so far out of anyone in the Big 12. I mean, they're 9-0. It's they're the team to beat in the Big 12, but it's going to be an interesting Big 12 championship because if you win a Power 5, you get to go to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really important for all these teams. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends out. But yeah, the Colorado's playing well. Shedeur's playing well. I mean, they could make a run. Yeah. They have Utah, Kansas, and then Oklahoma State left. The Utes started off really strong. And I don't really know what happened to him. I think they could win all of those games. I think the only game that would be tough, depending on where it's at. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, never mind. So I thought the Oklahoma State game could be tough. If it was in Oklahoma, it's not going to be. Their only away game remaining is Kansas. Kansas isn't very good. So they should win out. And then BYU, they have Kansas, Arizona State, and Houston. So they have one more tough game, Arizona State. So, it could be BYU's 11-1 and Colorado's 10-2 going into the Big 12 championship. So we'll see what happens. But
I think in my opinion, I think get rid of conference play is so stupid. It's just stupid.
yeah,
Like they need to get rid of SEC conference. Like I'm not trying to say get rid of it, but they need to get rid of the conference championships. It's really stupid.
I mean,
Like
it's just
there's no point of it no more. They I don't know. To me, I just think it's dumb.
well, they're mainly using it now for like playoff spots. Like, how do they determine the playoff spots is by who wins the championships and stuff like that. So that's kind of it. That's kind of what they're using it for. So, we got the college football playoff starting in 25 days, a little over 3 weeks away. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to see. We're going to move on to some basketball now as we kind of start wrapping up this episode. We're going to talk about a couple different teams. First, we're going to start off with my Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. So last time we met, they were, I believe, 4-4, I think.
Yeah.
They were 4-4. Since then, they have won twice. They beat the 76ers and then Toronto. LeBron James having triple doubles in both of those games. And versus Philadelphia, it was, let me pull it up here. His box score versus Philadelphia, he was
21
points, 12 rebounds, 13 assists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not bad for an old guy. Yeah, and he goes to Toronto, and he just goes, ballistic in terms of just everything. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 16 assists. When Anthony Davis went down, the Lakers were only up by 4. When Anthony Davis went down, I believe he got his eyeball poked. But since that moment, LeBron James went takeover mode, but not the normal, not the takeover mode, the 16 points in a quarter we're used to. He went Magic Johnson takeover mode and dominated both sides of the court and just dictated what happened. I hate to keep saying this, but it's literally ridiculous what we're witnessing from this guy. I don't care if you hate him because he's better than your favorite player. It's okay to be mad about that. I used to be mad about that too, but I overcame that. You can too. But it's genuinely, if you hate him, you should watch him still. What he's doing at this point, well, they watch him so they can get mad at him when he does bad. But what he's doing at this age, this point in his career, you will never see again for the rest of your life unless they allow bionically enhanced human beings with robotic arms and steel legs into the league. You're never going to see this again. Mm-mm. He turns 40 in under a month. He's had back-to-back triple doubles, and he looks like prime Magic Johnson. And I mean, it's just unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. They have the Lakers turned around. They won two in a row. So they're getting better hang of it and stuff like that. And Coach Redick is still figuring things out, but they're playing better. I mean, Trey, just what is there to say about this guy LeBron that we haven't already said? Like, this is just unbelievable.
He's only playing year 22 to average 23, above 23 points per game. So because Vince Carter was on a Fair War tour and then COVID happened. Dirk Nowitzki was old. Tim Duncan was. I mean, here's the deal. I love Jordan, I love MJ, but I mean, it's still a tie for me as the GOAT. So a tie.
Oh, boo.
It's still a tie.
Boo.
But I'll tell you what, though, I think he's the greatest athlete probably you ever seen in your entire life. And
I think that's going to be hard to deny. Yeah.
because you could probably argue with Tom Brady up there too, because what he did at 45, but he might be the greatest athlete of all time. It's just a fact. I've never seen an athlete. I've seen people at the gym and 40 years old playing basketball. He came around the court to the popular kill within shooting a basketball. Okay. Jaden can tell you this. We see an old man every single day at True Fit playing basketball. Jaden can tell you that guy. He's old. He has gray hair. When Braun's playing with people that are younger than this guy, he's still dominating the NBA.
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
It's unbelievable.
never see it ever again.
Nope. You never will.
No one's picking his records. Nobody will.
No one's touching his scoring record.
It ain't gonna be Wembanyama. I don't want to hear about Wembanyama. It ain't gonna be Kevin Durant and Kendrick Perkins. Quit saying KD's the greatest scorer of all time. Quit saying that, bro. It's LeBron James. Quit saying it. JJ Redick went on his podcast before he went to become a coach, exposed the people that say LeBron is not an all-time great scorer. I recommend you, everybody, go watching that clip with JJ Redick saying that about LeBron James. I recommend it. I'll post it in the description if I have to. You need to go watch that. You need to go watch that clip on YouTube. Okay. This guy, we are all now. I know why you put "we are all witnesses" as his brand for Nike. This is why.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Jaden, go for it.
There's not a whole lot else to say. But
Unbelievable.
I mean, the combination of LeBron and AD this season, they're looking like how they were in 2020.
Mhm.
They're actually they're linking really, and they're playing good together. And I mean, all around their starting five, except for one, we're all in double-digit scoring. So
Yeah, so they moved D'Lo to the bench.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
I was saying, so I don't think D'Lo's bad, but I think having him, he's not bad. He's not bad, but what he's not is he's not fantastic. And he was getting played like he was fantastic. So he gets put on the bench. He still gets 27 minutes. They start Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is a better defender than D'Lo. Cam Reddish is he's just better defender. He can still score. He can still shoot the three. But what this does is it gives a ball handler off the bench. He had 15 points off the bench.
yeah,
He played solid. D'Lo played solid, but they need that bench production that those guys, the rest of the bench wasn't able to do. Jackson Hayes added 12 and 6 rebounds off the bench, which was very, very helpful. But this is going to help this team a lot, having someone who can come off the bench and initiate offense. Because we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Their starters were averaging the second most points per game in the league, and then their bench was averaging third worst points per game in the league. This is going to help that a lot. So I like that you mentioned that. Only Rui Hachimura. Rui played horrible versus the Raptors. He only had 4 points on 11 shots, but that's not always going to happen. But Austin Reeves played awesome. Even when Anthony Davis went down, what did LeBron do? Turned into Magic Johnson. You guys will never see somebody be able to dunk like LeBron does. Go watch 2018 LeBron highlights. Go watch 2013 LeBron highlights. Whatever year in between, whatever year before, just go watch those. Then watch him play against the Raptors a couple nights ago. You're never going to see someone who can do that, who's that physically gifted, that large of a human being, 6'9". He was upwards of 260 in his prime. Now he's probably more like 240. Be able to dominate the way he does in every aspect of the game. He's the best passer in the NBA. I think him and Jokic are probably right there for best passers in the NBA. And in his prime, he was the best scorer. I don't care if he's not hitting mid-range jump shots. I do not care. First of all, LeBron's mid-range is actually extremely underrated. But like Trey was saying, Perkins saying that Kevin Durant's the greatest scorer ever. I don't like when people use the argument, well, he's hitting tough fadeaways and threes and all that. I don't care. As long as the ball gets in hoop, that's scoring. That is points. Mm-hmm. And also, Trey sent me this a couple days ago. LeBron James is averaging 44% from the three this year, guys.
That's his high. That's career all time.
And he averaged 41 last year. League average is, I'm pretty sure it's around 34. But let me double check. So it is 35. League average is 35% shooting from three. He's 9 points higher than league average. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid-range. I think he's the best driver of the basketball in the history of basketball. Even Skip Bayless, his number one hater, said he hates LeBron. He said that. Yeah. You guys will never. I'm sorry. I hate, and I'm not even trying to be like a LeBron fanboy right now. It's just genuinely unbelievable how many people hate on this guy. You'll never see anyone like him again, ever. He's averaging 23 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 9 assists a game, 51% and 51.5% shooting from the field, 44% from three, 81% from the free throw line. He's improved his 3-point shot and his free throw shooting, and he's almost 40. You'll never see that again. I'm sorry, you're never going to see that again.
Yeah.
And if this team can either fix the bench issues or add a bench player. I don't think they need another star. I've heard stuff going around, trade D'Lo and Reeves for another star. I don't think so. I think you need to just add a complementary piece. Kind of just do the 2020 Lakers blueprint. LeBron, AD, and a really good supporting cast, and I think you can go pretty far with that. They
should get Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard goes to every Lakers game. I think Dwight Howard wants to be back on the Lakers too. He goes to every game.
Yeah.
It's truly unbelievable. If you hate LeBron, put your hate aside and watch him play basketball. I'm sorry, he's better all time than your favorite player, but just put that aside and just take in the greatness while you still have a chance, because he's not going to be here for very much longer. He's going to retire in a couple years. Maybe never. Maybe he never retires. Maybe he plays with Bryce and then he goes to the WNBA and plays with his daughter. I don't know. Who knows? He's going to be 60 and playing in the WNBA. And he's probably going to average 40 points a game. I don't know. It's unbelievable what he does. What he's able to do is crazy. I mean,
yeah. That's the same, man.
There's not much else to say. Go watch LeBron, because you either get to see the greatest offensive player you've ever seen in your life, or you could see prime Magic Johnson. I mean, it's literally like, you know what you're going to get. It's crazy how I can't. It's mind boggling to me. I will never stop talking about how insane this is, because he has made us all numb to this. This is insane. He shouldn't be doing this. No 39-year-old should be doing this, but he's doing it. GOAT. That. Right there. Oh, GOAT James, baby. All right. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about a couple other teams real quickly here. I want to touch on two. I want to talk about the Cavs and the Warriors. So the Cavs improved to 12-0. And my question is, can they keep this early season high going? And can they be a challenge to the Celtics in the East, Trey?
I think so, because right now, this is what this team is showing so far. They've joined the Golden State Warriors in 15-16, the Rockets 94-93, the Washington Capitals at the time 48-49, the Mavs 2002-03, Celtics 57-58, the Chicago Bulls 96-97, Supersonics 82-83, the Hawks 97-98. Basically joined about 12 teams so far in the NBA history. And I'm gonna say it. The Celtics last year was an easy. It was like a little. It was a cute win, a little cupcake run to the finals, and they won to the Mavs. I believe if Donovan Mitchell doesn't get hurt last year in that playoff game, they're beating the Cavs. Because Jason Tatum last year in that playoff run, that playoff game series alone, averaged 15 points per game. Jaylen Brown was averaging 15 points per game as well. I mean, they were up 3-1, 3-2, had just chance to win it, and Donovan Mitchell gets hurt. And then not only that, now they got a new coach. Evan Mobley's actually looking really good. So is Darius Garland. But I'll tell you what, this team can probably beat the Celtics in the final in the East if they stay healthy. Because last year, JT, I'm gonna say it again, averaged 15 points per game, and that series alone to the Cavs played awful. Shot 24% from the field. Jaylen Brown too played terrible too that game. Shot 33% from the field. Averaged 15 points per game. So, I think they can actually beat the Celtics in the East. Because Milwaukee can't do it. I mean, they suck. I don't know what happens to Milwaukee. I don't know if it's Doc Rivers or what, but I don't know what's wrong.
It's Darvin Ham.
Yeah, it's Darvin Ham probably because he's on the coach sideline. So
Just blame him. I'm dead serious, bro. Just blame Darvin Ham. I'm dead serious. It's his fault. It's his fault.
To the Lakers.
It's his fault. It is.
But you know what? I think Celtics can beat that team in the East.
Okay, Jaden, what do you think?
I think it's crazy that they're 11-0 right now.
12-0.
The first time since LeBron James
12-0.
he's on that team.
But I don't know. I don't know if this is just like a, I mean they're playing good. I mean they're not playing great, but I mean they're playing good. I want to see what happens, when they lose a game,
How they react.
if they go on a losing streak after that. So, but I don't know. I think that's what I'm looking for is what happens when they lose a game.
Okay. I tend to agree. I don't think they would have beaten the Celtics last year. I think that I want to see them this year, how they respond, like Jaden was saying, to a loss. They have a good team. I just don't know if in a 7-game series they can out-talent the Celtics. The Celtics are just too deep. They just have too many good players. It's just, I don't know. I need to see. I'm going to pull up here the series last year or last season that they faced. So they played in the semifinals, I believe. Yeah, they played in the semifinals. Boston went 1-5. Donovan Mitchell did get hurt. I don't know. I need to see it. I want to see him play this year. And I know regular season matches don't matter that much, but I still want to see it. I still want to see him just how the rest of the season plays out, because maybe they're just really hot. But if they can stay consistent, they can win 60 games. And I think the big key is getting the 1 seed over Boston. If you want to beat Boston, you want to have the game 6 and 7 in your building. You want to have that opportunity, and you want to have the first 2 games in your building. That's going to be key, because that Boston Celtics TD Garden is hard to play in unless you're LeBron James. He owns the TD Garden, by the way. He owns the Celtics. Anyways, go watch the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals and then get back with me. It's hard to play there, so the Cavs definitely want to do that. But yeah, they're a really good team, and I want to see how they play moving forward. But we're gonna move over to the other conference here. We're gonna talk about Western Conference. We're gonna talk about the Warriors. They are 8-2. I think this has been a big shocker to a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people expected them to play this well. They lost Klay Thompson. They had kind of a mishmash starting lineup. And I don't even think so. Steph Curry's been awesome in a couple games. The Celtics game, he was awesome. He hasn't played that great in this season. And he missed some time with an ankle injury. He's averaging 22 points, 5 rebounds, six assists per game this year. So it's not like Curry's going crazy. He's played crazy in a couple games, but they're still winning. Did we write the Warriors off too early? Or I guess did the NBA media write him off too early?
No. This is gonna happen one point after another. This is gonna happen once. We did this 2 years ago, and then they had bounced up by the Lakers in the playoffs. By LeBron, by the way. No. I know Curry fans don't like that, but it's just a fact. I'm not gonna get Curry fans started because I
hold on real quick. Go Curry fans, go look up Curry's record versus LeBron without Kevin Durant, and then get back with me. Continue.
I agree because you know what? I don't want to hear about LeBron joining Miami with D Wade and Bosh. I don't want to hear that. What the Warriors did was they cheated. Okay, but you know what? You're right. No, so that's not subject for another day because that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm not surprised you run him off early because Klay left, and so I ain't surprised that Klay Thompson. At one point, it was going to happen. I thought it'd be Draymond Green first, but he didn't. That wasn't a possible case at all. But I ain't worried about the Warriors, man. I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried about the Warriors at all. I don't want to hear Curry fans going all crazy about it. So there you go.
Jaden, what do you think?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I wasn't, I mean, the way that the Warriors ended their season last year, gave me a little bit of concern, coming into the season. But, I mean, I understand why the media. I think it's just a big media thing because it's like, oh, they lost Klay Thompson, so they're not gonna be good anymore, or whatever they were thinking. But, I mean. But I think what the media forgot is that they're talking about, Steph Curry, and it's Steph Curry is he's a very great player. So I don't know. Like Trey said, I'm not worried about the Warriors. I just guess we'll have to see how they progress throughout the season.
Yeah. I think a couple guys have been playing a little bit better than we anticipated. Buddy Hield is averaging 18 points a game on only 25 minutes per game. Andrew Wiggins has started playing very good again. Great defense. He's averaging 15.5 points a game. Jonathan Kuminga is averaging 14.6 points per game. So it's not just Steph. Steph is not carrying this team. He's the leader of the team, obviously, and all of that. But they're playing well as a squad. I do want to see if a couple of these guys playing over their skis eventually start to cool off and see how they do. But, you have one of the greatest players ever on your roster. You have a good roster, at least we think a good roster, and a solid head coach. So, some people think a great head coach. So, we'll see what happens. They are second in their division. I know division standings don't matter as much in the NBA, but Phoenix is playing really well too. But let me see here in the standings. They are the third seed. So it'd be Phoenix, Oklahoma City, the Warriors, Denver, Houston, Grizzlies, Lakers, Timberwolves, Clippers, Kings. That rounds out the 10 in the Western Conference. But it's so early. We know that some people could go on a huge winning streak, or some people could go on a major losing streak. So it's early, but yeah, I think overall, I don't think anyone expected them to start off this good at the bare minimum. But yeah, that kind of wraps up our NBA discussion. We're going to move over to interesting topic. Trey wanted to do this, so I'm going to let Trey go here. Mike Tyson fights Jake Paul. He thinks he's Jake Paul. They play this Friday.
Yeah, on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Yeah,
That's not a
which is
real
crazy.
fight. I'm sorry, if your fight's on Netflix, it's not a real fight. It's just not. I can't take you seriously. So my question is to the group here: who wins?
Jenny, you go.
Yeah, because
This is not real. This is not serious.
Okay. If Mike Tyson doesn't win, I don't know what to say. I mean, yes, he is, old and not in his prime, but he's still like very, physically fit for his age,
Definitely, yeah.
and he's still very fast. So, I don't know. I just gotta say Mike Tyson. So,
Okay. Trey, do you want me to go?
Yeah, go.
Okay, all right. So it's going to be an 8-round fight instead of 10 or 12. I think that is in Mike Tyson's favor because he is old. So he will get tired sooner than Jake Paul, I hope. It's only 8 rounds, which means it's not going to be as physically taxing as a full fight would be. I'm going to say Mike Tyson will win this because I think if he hits him once really hard, Jake Paul will see the stars. Jake Paul, I don't care how old he is, Jake Paul has never fought anyone on this level. Just watch some practice sessions of Mike Tyson. His arms and hands are moving extremely fast still, very fast. And he is Iron Mike for a reason. I think he will knock Jake Paul out unless they have, agreed beforehand that it will go the full 8 rounds because it is for charity. So maybe that's not going to happen, but I don't know if Mike Tyson, he's a literal animal. I think he's going to step into the ring and see blood and start swinging. So I'm going to have to say Mike Tyson wins this. Trey, this is not serious. This is so
Okay. I like both of them for obvious reasons that no one not gonna say on the air. But
Oh my word.
I love Mike Tyson. I love Jake Paul. I want Tyson to win this fight. I hope it happens because I can't stand Jake Paul sometimes a little bit, mocking him. I mean, this dude got a tattoo on his face like Mike Tyson, so I thought that was stupid too. But Mike Tyson, bro, get it done. It's Jake Paul. If Jake Paul loses to a 54-year-old person, bro,
retire.
just quit boxing, dude.
Retire.
Go be with Kai Cenat and I Show Speed. That's a streamer, dude. That's a YouTuber, please. Or a fighter again, like you were back in the day with Logan, with your brother. But Tyson, you better win the fight, bro. Knock this sucker out. Go ahead, go to 1, 2, go, boom. Knock him out, bro. Knock him out.
I think he should win. It is free on Netflix.
It's free, man. I'll be watching.
It's not a real fight. It's not a real fight. It's a fake fight.
It's a real fight.
This is all for money. It's for charity, which is great.
Mike
But
is real.
Mike's a real fighter, but he's also almost 60 years old.
So Jake Paul's gonna win?
No. I said Mike Tyson's going to win. I just don't. This is just such an unserious fight. But I mean, hopefully it's entertaining. If Jake Paul gets knocked out, it'll be entertaining. I mean,
Jake Paul. Fight a real fighter, please, bro. Like, go fight Canelo. Terrence Crawford.
Canelo.
Go fight somebody, bro.
Do you think Canelo's going to fight Jake Paul?
He wants to be up there with. He's calling him out. So you know what? Go fight a real fighter, bro. You want to be in boxing? Go fight a real fighter.
He's not going to fight a real fighter.
Go fighting YouTubers.
He
Fight Kai Cenat next, bro. Who's 5'8". 5'11", fight ISO speed. Hey, you know, make a mark at you, bro.
All right. Okay.
Alrighty.
Are you taking next, bro?
Alrighty, guys. That wraps us up for this week. Watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson if you're extremely bored on Friday because it will be free.
And
So-
Watch it, man.
So yeah, and we're looking forward to some really good games this next, Sunday or Thursday, Sunday, and Monday in the NFL and NBA action throughout the week as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to cut this one a little shorter than last week because we went a little crazy last week. So, and there was no F1, so I don't have any F1 to talk about, which makes me sad. But it's okay because there's a race this week, I think.
Next week.
Is it next week?
No, I'm saying tune in next
Oh.
week for
Tune in next
For
week
your F1.
for my 3 minutes of F1. Really, really excited. It will be the Las Vegas Grand Prix next week. Pumped for that. Means I get to watch it on normal human being time. So no disrespect to anyone overseas, obviously, but I'm on American time. Okay. So yeah, guys, that wraps up episode 11 of the Playbook Podcast. We may or may not have an extra episode on Saturday. I thought we were going to have one last Saturday. Things happened. We weren't able to do that. So just be on the lookout for that if we are able to do so. But thanks again, once again, for tuning in, guys. And we will see you again
Like,
next time.
comment,
Do all those things. We really appreciate it. So I always forget it, and Trey has to say it every time.
subscribe. Okay,
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. We know Travis will be in the comments where we appreciate him. So,
yeah.
alrighty, guys, we'll see y'all. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy some football next Sunday and tomorrow. Not tomorrow,
Wow.
Thursday. And you're not going to enjoy the boxing, but maybe you will. So, we'll see you guys later. Y'all have a great one. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.